What's up guys, this is Brett here from brettdev.com, and just like in last week's video, I told you I know a guy from Denmark, Henrik, who's right here with me today, who's just got back to Chiang Mai. Well, actually you just told me you got back here 2 months ago.
Yes, 2 months ago, yeah.
And he did the whole quarantine, he did the hotel, the lot. So hopefully in this video we're going to be able to answer a lot of questions you guys might have about coming back to Thailand. So you just filled me in. You just said you came back on a retirement visa.
Yeah. Look, I've been in Thailand many times, and I went here in late 2019 and planned to stay here for like 4 months, but then COVID came, so it was actually seven months before I could go back to Denmark, and I had to go back to Denmark to plan a lot of things with my job and so on, my customers. But the thing was, I really didn't expect that it would be that difficult to go back here. And I for 2 months I tried, and then I come from Denmark. The 2 months I tried to get a special tourist visa.
Yeah.
And they didn't issue the visas at that time. So finally in the summer I turned 50, and so lucky me, so I could get a retirement visa. And yeah, so that's
so when did you leave Chiang Mai?
I left Chiang Mai in June and got back in November.
June of
2020.
So you left Chiang Mai in June?
Yeah, 2020.
Right. Okay, and then you came back here in November?
Yeah.
So really just like about 6 weeks, 2 months ago, yeah.
Yeah. Came back November 7 and started with the 15 days quarantine in Bangkok.
We'll get on to that.
Yeah, that's... Yeah.
So what made you, like you say, did you have to leave in June to go and sort your work out in Denmark?
I had to go back. I had to plan my 50th birthday and everything, so I had to go back. I couldn't stay longer.
Okay.
So
and how long have you lived in Chiang Mai for?
I was here like 7-8 months before that. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay, and you just running your business from here or whatever?
Yeah, I did. Yeah.
Okay, cool. So you went back. How long did you spend there? So June, July, August, September?
Yeah, 4 months.
4 months.
Yeah.
And then you tried to apply for is it single entry tourist or?
Special tourist visa, STV.
Right.
Yeah.
Is this the one that you can come in for 60 days and then eventually you can extend it to 9 months?
Yeah, you have to stay here at least 30 or 60 days or something.
Gotcha.
They have they cannot force you, but they will tell you shouldn't apply for this if you cannot stay here at least for 2 months.
Okay, and what was the issue with applying for that visa?
It was just that Denmark was high on the numbers in Corona, so
Gotcha.
So they were not like on the good list of countries that could actually apply for that.
Right.
I think only China and some other countries were on that list at that time. Yeah.
So it's important for you guys, if you want to try and get that single tourist visa, to check if your country is actually on the list.
Yeah.
Because there's a lot of videos now. I mean, I think I made a video probably a good 6 months ago, but when it was first announced, but there's still videos being made saying, oh, you can single tourist visa, but you can only get it if you come from a particular country.
Yeah. And it was a little chaotic, because some weeks they said, yes, we have it now, and then other weeks they said, no, it's closed again.
Right.
So depending on the numbers of Corona in your country, in your home country.
Okay, so to get your actual visa, you were going to, is it the embassy in Denmark?
You just go to the embassy, yeah.
Okay,
and you ask them.
You're asking for a single entry, and then eventually they said to you, how old are you? You could get a retirement.
Yeah, they found out after I bullied them for like 2 months every week. They really got tired of me, and one day they looked at me, how old are you? And turned out I just turned 50, so I could apply for a retirement visa.
Gotcha. And did you do all the retirement paperwork and stuff?
Yeah, it was like 30 hours of paperwork.
Right.
Yeah.
It's like that even if you do it when you're here.
Yeah, but that goes with all visa appliance. Every visa you have to do a lot of paperwork.
Right. So you got your standard retirement visa paperwork.
Yeah.
And then what else did they require from you on top of that in order to come here? Because there's talk of insurance, there's talk about fit to fly,
yeah.
And all that stuff.
So you have to get a lot of papers that are, you have to show, on the retirement visa you have to show some kind of, money. Yeah, you have to have money in your bank. I think it's
800,000 baht.
800,000 baht. Yeah, you have to show that you have that, or you can actually, if you have if you get paid every month, you can also show that instead.
Yeah.
So, but I think sometimes it depends on where you come from. It's not the same rules in every country. But in Denmark, at least, it was you had to show either 800,000 Thai baht in an account, and it didn't matter how long the money had been there, so you could just borrow it from a friend or whatever and put it in.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
Actually, they didn't do any checkups, so you could. I mean, I wouldn't recommend it, but you could just do it in Photoshop, and they would never question it.
Right.
So you had the money, and you had to get. They had some special odd things about your health. So you had to get a doctor's certificate that you didn't suffer from elephantitis or hepatitis or some of these diseases have been extinct for years.
Right.
But you still had to go to the doctor's office and had him sign that you don't have these 5 odd diseases.
Right. And was COVID one of them?
No. COVID was only on the insurance papers. It was a little complicated because you could have an insurance that will cover you for, if you get sick from something else than COVID, or if you, get in a motorcycle accident or whatever. But if it doesn't say specifically that that it will cover 100% everything that happens due to COVID, if it doesn't say that specifically in English, it will not be enough. Right. And actually, I struggled a couple of weeks with that because I already bought insurance for 1.5 years because I'm going to travel a lot and stay here long.
Yeah.
So, and it was not the right one. Right. So I actually had to let it go and get another insurance. Right. Only one company in Denmark actually covered in English, saying we cover everything.
Right. Okay. So you have to have COVID-19 insurance.
Yeah.
You have to have a letter from your doctor to say you're clear of other weird diseases.
Yeah.
Obviously, you've got the standard paperwork.
All the paperwork with your passport.
Retirement visa.
Yeah.
Now, do you have to do any COVID tests before you fly?
Yeah.
Because a lot of people, they're worried. I've got a friend back in England. He's worried that he's in a situation where he can come back. He can check all the boxes, but he's worried that he might get to the airport and they'll say, test you. Oh, you've got it. Piss off.
But if he got a visa from the embassy, I think they will make sure that he has all the papers. So they will never give him a visa before he has everything. But they will tell him that 72 hours before leaving, you have to have a negative COVID test.
Okay.
So in your home country, you will have to take the test. In Denmark, it's 24 hours before you get the result.
Right.
So that means if it's actually positive, then you have to cancel the flight, cancel the hotel, everything.
Right.
So that's why you have to make sure that you can actually rebook without extra costs.
Right. Okay.
So I chose Lufthansa for traveling because they had really easy. I could just 1 hour before leaving, almost I could change it to another day.
Gotcha.
With no extra cost.
Right.
And also the ASQ hotels.
Right.
You have to make sure that. You have to be certain that they will actually make you, postpone it 2 weeks or 3 weeks or whatever until you can present a negative test.
So they will do that.
Yeah. And most of them offer that, but you have to make sure that they do.
Okay.
Or else you will lose your money. If
a lot of people are worried. I'm going to book my flight. It's going to cost me X amount.
Yeah. You have to pay up front.
Yeah,
that's it. You have to pay up front, but
they'll
you can
just let you
reschedule if something happens.
Okay, okay. And how much were the flights compared to what they would have normally been, a year ago, coming back?
The prices
of the flight, was it similar?
Cheaper.
Cheaper?
Yeah, cheaper.
Wow. Yeah. Okay, so the flight was
actually
cheaper.
It's a good idea, even though you don't plan to go home half a year later or 1 year later or whatever. It's a good idea to buy a return flight because that's cheaper than a single flight.
Right.
At least with Lufthansa it is. Yeah.
Wow.
So I've heard, I paid 4,500 Danish crowns. I don't know how much that is. That's maybe 600 euros or something.
Wow, that's good.
Yeah.
It's about
I think
what it would be before.
It was high season, so normally I would pay maybe 50% more when I used to. Yeah.
Okay, so that's amazing. I thought there were only chartered flights going, and it was going to cost you $2-3 grand, and because before there was talking about you could only fly business and all this crazy stuff. So
and actually, also, I mean, it's a little luxury because you will get 4 seats.
I was just going to ask you that. I was going to say
you will get 4 seats. I mean, you can. I've never experienced that before. I mean, I always travel coach. I mean, I always sit like this with my long leg. I'm 2 meters tall. I mean, it's a nightmare. But this time, I could just lay down.
I was just about to say, okay, so you got the visa. Take us to the flight.
Right? Yeah. So it's a lot better actually traveling, in my opinion, traveling during these circumstances.
And on the plane, are all the flight attendants in like hazmat suits?
Yeah, no, they were not. No, they were not. Just the mask, and they had like an extra, what do they call it?
Plastic shield.
Yeah. Gotcha. And you have to wear a mask the whole trip.
The whole flight?
Yeah.
Okay.
But they will close the light, I mean, when you sleep. So, I mean, you can just...
Okay.
It's not
Gotcha.
It's not that...
So you went with, what's the name company? Lufthansa.
Sorry?
What's the company? Lufthansa.
Yeah, Lufthansa.
Lufthansa. And I imagine all the airlines.
Also, you can go with Qatar Airlines, I think, and Emirates. Those were the 3 approved from Denmark. But I don't know, in your home country, it can be some other...
Did you have a stop-off? Or did you
I went to... I had it's like a 1 hour flight from Copenhagen to Frankfurt.
Right.
And then it's a 6 hours wait.
Okay.
And then it's a 10 hours flight to Bangkok.
What was the airport like in Frankfurt? Was it completely quiet? Or?
It's like a ghost town.
Wow.
Airports are ghost towns. I mean, only 1/3 of the shops are open, and of course, not that many people. I mean,
but you can do it, right? So you can travel.
Look, I'm so happy I did it. I mean, even with all the shenanigans and all the fuss and the hard, 30-hour paperwork.
Yeah,
I don't regret it a minute.
Well, this is the thing. The paperwork you did for the retirement visa, like everybody has to do that anyway.
Yeah, you have to do that even if COVID didn't happen.
Exactly.
It's still a hassle.
Would you say just that? Okay, so just get some perspective. So, would you say that doing that retirement visa paperwork was more of a ball ache than the other stuff they wanted? The insurance, the doctor's test, or which was more of a pain in the ass?
No, COVID it was not a pain in the ass because I had the end goal in I just did it. You have to do it, and then you go to the embassy, deliver all the paperwork, and then they say, you still need this, and then they throw something out of the so
it's just
you have to be patient doing that.
It's the same as when you get a visa here. They send you away, you come back. Send you away, you come back. Yeah, so you just got to buckle down and do it. It's not like it can't be done.
Yeah.
Okay, and then so you've got the flight, you flew over, and then let's talk about these ASQ hotels. So, because I just met you the other night when we were out drinking, and I said, what was it like? And you were like, oh my God, it was terrible.
Yeah. Look, I'm a heavy smoker, and I didn't do my due diligence. And I should have. A friend of mine, he spent one day looking through all 140 hotels to find the best price, and with a little balcony in his room and everything. He's a smoker too. But I didn't do that. I just picked one. Okay, moving.
Right.
And so I bought one that double the price, and I couldn't open a window. I just sat in my own cigarette smoke for 15 days. So that I would recommend you to do your due diligence. Find a nice hotel with a fair price. You can get even though when you go onto the first one on the web pages, it will say 200,000 Thai baht, blah blah blah. A lot of them are expensive. Yeah. But if you go through the list, you will find some hotels that are, fair priced and also have like a little balcony or whatever you need. Yeah. If you don't smoke, you don't need a balcony that much. But it's nice to be out in the sun when you're all alone in your hotel room for 2 weeks.
My friend was saying he's found some for about 28,000 baht.
Yeah.
I said to him, that's not very expensive. I mean, if I, for example, went to Bangkok for a little trip, I would spend that down there in 2 weeks anyway.
On a regular hotel anyway.
Because you'd spend 1,000 baht in your hotel, and do they give you food and stuff when you're in there?
Yeah, that's included. Everything is included. Also, they have like a medical crew taking really good care of you. I mean, and you have an app installed so that you can check your own temperature once a day, and they really take good care of you. But the thing is, you're alone for 2 weeks. So if you don't have anything to do, a friend of mine, we traveled together. His television was not working in the hotel, and when he called the reception, they said, okay, we will fix it, but not for the first 6 days, because after 5 days you get the first test, and only when that comes back negative, they will dare to go into your room.
Right.
So you are completely on your own for the first 6 days. After 6 days, it lightens up. You can go if it's a negative test, you can go to the balcony an hour a day, and I mean the rooftop. They had a rooftop at that hotel, so you can go out and hang out with other adventurous people, such as yourself.
All there doing the same thing.
And go to the gym for half an hour, like once every day, or depends on what hotel you find. But
and how was your treatment between getting off the plane and getting into that hotel? You said they treated you well in the hotel. I mean, what was it like at the airport? Were they...
Look, when you get in, already they are all dressed in like, what do you call that suit?
Hazmat suit.
Yeah. They're all dressed in plastic, and you have to fill out some more papers in the airport if you feel not, some kind of if you're not well or anything. You have to do that once again once you get to Bangkok, and you will have to show the papers that you once again have to show them and stand in line and. But okay, anyway, you're here. It's just an hour away from.
How long does that take? Like just an hour to go through?
I think 90 minutes or something in the airport.
And they'll put you in like what? I guess a minibus and then just ship.
Yeah. After that, you go out. Normally you just pick up your luggage and you leave without COVID. You leave the airport, grab a taxi or whatever. Yeah. But here they will just find you when you get out of the airport, and they will say Henrik. And they will put you in a little high-ace, with one person with a suit driving you again, but it was completely closed. We just we sat two guys in the back of that high-ace, and it was a one hour ride or something because there was traffic. So, and when you get to the hotel, everything is like sprayed clean so your suitcase is disinfected.
Okay.
So it looks like a little. It's like you're in a sci-fi movie or something. It's a little odd, and you can see the life all around you. It's like everybody else, but you are living a normal life, but you're just sitting in a high-ace. I want to go out and join you.
Right. Okay.
But you're not to do that for the first 15 days. Yeah.
Right. Okay. Yeah. So you said your hotel. How much did you pay for it?
I paid. My friend he paid 48,000, and I paid 65, I think. But again, because we didn't do our due diligence, we could have found something better, a little better, and a lot cheaper.
A lot cheaper, right. And so in the room, like you say, you just trap basically.
Yeah, I had a 40 square meter room for that, money, and a big television, and I could, do my work on my computer. The Wi-Fi was pretty good, and
right. So you got decent Wi-Fi.
In reality, if you didn't have that feeling of being in jail.
Right.
Like they put your food outside and you open your door and take your food and you can see someone in a hazmat suit again.
Right.
And just Kapkun Kap and they
So they leave your food, knock on the door, and run away.
Yeah, and they run away because they are scared of you because they think you have COVID. You just came in.
Right.
But I just had a negative test. How many did you have? So you had the negative test from your home country, and now you have the first test after 5 days in the hotel, and after 12 days in the hotel.
Right. And
but other than that, it was great, and I'm used to being alone a lot of hours because I work remotely. I mean, So I have meetings with customers and so on. I could have that as well in the hotel, no problems.
I guess it depends a lot on the person.
But you have to get your mindset, ready for being really on your own.
Yeah. I never leave my house anyway. So
Exactly. But it wasn't that easy. It wasn't that easy because you have it's like a mindset. You cannot leave it. I mean, you don't mind being in your own home for 2 weeks if you know you can leave any minute you want.
Right.
But when you know you are stuck, it's a little harder.
Yeah. But I guess you just think of the positive, like once I'm out.
And you count the days and
like scratching them away on the wall. Okay, so that's some experience, man. I mean, what advice would you give to people overall? I mean, we talked a lot about the paperwork and the flight, but just do your due diligence on the hotel and
be patient, but do it. I mean, if that's what you want to do it. Don't. I have to buy a plane ticket before, and I have to buy a hotel. And what if something happens? Don't be worried about that. I mean, do the work, do the paperwork.
Sorry, what order would you do it in?
Sorry?
What order would you do everything in? Would it be first contact the embassy, then do the paperwork?
I would start, go to your country's, the Thai embassy in your country's webpage, and they will tell you what papers you need to print out and in 2 copies, and just start the paperwork. And then once you feel like, okay, now I must have everything, you go to the embassy, you present it, and they tell you need 2 more formulas or whatever. Right. So start with the paperwork. But I just say, okay, I want to do this in 3.5 weeks. Okay, I book a hotel, I book an airplane, and I start writing them. Because also the hotel will also ask you for a lot of papers. They have to, like the ASQ hotel.
I'm wondering about the order.
Yeah, they need copy of your passport. They need, you know.
They need to like see the visa.
Certificate of entry. And you have to write them back. I don't get this until like 3 days before I leave because it's the embassy that gives me that. Right. So they didn't know and.
Okay. So you'd need to get the.
But I would just get started with the paperwork.
Get the visa done first.
Yeah.
Would you say wait until you've got it all together and you've got the visa in your passport, you've got the entry certificate, and then go? Okay, now I'm going to book my flight and hotel.
Sorry, I didn't get.
Would you get all the paperwork, the visa and stuff ready first, and then book the flight and hotel?
No. I would set a date, and this is my target. I'm leaving here, and then I would buy the ticket and book the hotel.
Yep.
Because you need that for a lot of the other work. If you cannot present.
This is the problem because it's all like you need this. For that,
but that's the way you have to do it. And if you're not ready to take a little risk of having to rebook your flight and blah blah blah,
right?
Then you shouldn't do this.
But you can book flights that will allow you to reschedule for free and stuff.
It was no problem. I could like until 3 hours before leaving or something. Lufthansa, I could just change the flight with no extra cost. I actually had to do it because I had to present a clean. What do you call it when you are not registered with the police?
Criminals.
Yeah, criminal record. You had to present a criminal record as well.
That's part of the retirement visa, right?
Yeah, it is. Okay. And actually, you could do that online. But the first page I found when I looked for this said that I couldn't do this online. So I had to like send it to by mail, and it took them like 9 days to return it. So I had actually to reschedule everything, and they gave me back 1 Danish crown. Because it was cheaper the one I chose, so that's so it's not difficult if you to change the flight and everything.
So just make sure you get ASQ hotel that you can change, flight you can change. Would you say book them for like say a month in advance?
I would
give yourself a month.
A month is not too tight. I gave myself like 3 weeks, and that was too tight probably. So if you today if you want to go here and you want to do it as soon as possible. Book a flight February 8 or whatever,
Gotcha.
Something like that.
Yeah. Okay, and was it worth it?
It was worth it, so much.
How long do you intend to stay here now? On your
I have a 1-year retirement visa, and I think I was maybe if all the vaccines and whatever, I don't know, if it's more easy to travel around without quarantine hotels every time, I will travel around because now it's burning season approaching in Chiang Mai, so I will probably leave for a couple of months if I can do it. But if I can't, I will just stay here. I love it here.
Different province, or
I will go to Phuket or whatever. But I'm staying the rest of the year at least.
Okay.
Yeah.
Cool.
So
all right, guys, we're going to take a quick break because I want to check our questions that we've got.
Perfect.
All right. Okay, so. Last week I uploaded the video and I told you guys that I was going to be interviewing Henrik, and if you had any questions, so I'm just going through YouTube now to try and get the questions from last week's video. And somebody said, I'm from Norway and I was asked to provide a fit to fly certificate proving that I don't have an alcohol/drug addiction plus leprosy.
That's the one I talked about with the elephantitis and everything.
My own doctor plus many others are refusing to write this.
Yeah.
Is there any other workaround to get this paper signed by someone that is not a doctor? If not, did you have to pay to get scanned for all those diseases? Did your doctor write it?
I think I'm a little expert on exactly this issue because I had a friend of mine. He's a doctor, and I told him, could you just sign the paper and give it to me without doing anything? And he wrote me back because he's a little pedant about it. It's okay. He's a doctor. He should be like. But he said it needs blood work. You have to have blood tests to actually prove that you don't have these diseases.
Gotcha.
So we will have to run a lot of tests before you can do it. And I was like, come on. Look it up. Do I look like I have a syphilis in 3rd stage? Or, and those odd diseases are on that paper. So he wouldn't help me. Okay, I had to find another one who could help me, and I called my one of my friends. One of his friends, his mother is a doctor too, and she said she wouldn't help either. So I think this is actually an issue.
Right.
But I just called my doctor and he said, you're going to Thailand? Yeah, okay, no problem. Come here and I will sign it.
Right.
And I paid 200 Danish crowns. That's like 250 Norwegian crowns.
So your actual doctor signed it?
Yeah, he just signed it.
Your friends who are doctors
he said,
wouldn't sign it?
Enjoy your trip.
Okay, so I guess it just depends on the doctor.
Yeah, and you just have to keep looking. I mean, you will find someone who will say, yeah, this is ridiculous. I will sign it, no problem.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay. So that could, and if it is an issue, perhaps, do you think your friend who was a doctor would have signed it if you had got blood work done?
Look, I brought my friend to my own doctor. I mean, my doctor knows. He has my doctor report, or he knows. He's been my doctor for many years, so he knows that I don't have these things. But I brought my friend, and he signed for him too.
Okay.
So it shouldn't be a problem. You just have to call more doctors.
Gotcha.
Yeah,
okay.
Yeah.
So that was a really great question. Thanks for that. Okay, so somebody had another question, and they asked, "How does Chiang Mai look and feel since you were last here?" But you weren't here that long ago. You were here in July, right?
I was here I went home in June. Yeah.
June. Do you notice a big difference in the place between June and November?
No. Because I was here during lockdown. We had like 2 months with some of the period had a curfew, and so. Yeah. No, I think it's better now. I actually do. Yeah.
Somebody else has asked procedure, accommodations, whether or not it was strict quarantine. We've gone through that. Were you allowed to wander around in public spaces? And they've said meal quality. How was the meal quality? And the cost, you've already said the cost, but how was the meals that they gave you?
The meals. The meals.
Yeah.
Actually, I got one of the more expensive hotels, and the meals were great. I cannot complain. I mean, it's eating with plastic. If you can do that, it's not a problem. Okay. But the friend who got the cheap hotel, the 30,000 baht, he actually complained about the food not being that good.
Just bringing you like 7-Eleven toasties.
Yeah. But after 6 days, you can. I mean, most hotels will allow you to actually order food from outside. So you can order a pizza or whatever. I mean, you should check that with a hotel if that's what you need. Okay. Because some of the hotels will not have that great food. I mean, it will not be Thai food as you know it. It will be a lot worse.
A bit like airplane food, I guess.
Yeah, it's a lot like airplane food. Many places, like 3 cold sausages, and that's a meal. Okay, thank you.
Right, and how many times do you eat? 3 times a day?
3 times a day, yeah, and it was sufficient. At my hotel, they had like a menu. I could choose whatever. Some of the things, came back on the menu, but it was really diverse. And
could you order extra and stuff if you wanted? Or?
Yeah, just have to pay. And actually, the first 6 days I could, because I drink a lot of Coke Zero, and Coke Zero normally in Thailand is like 15 baht, but I had to pay 100 baht for a Coke Zero in my hotel. Yeah, but let me finish, because I said 100 baht. Are you maniacs? I don't want to pay 100 baht for a Coke Zero, but I need my 10 Coke Zeros a day, and then I got them bargained down to 80 Thai baht. A day. Yeah, but after 6 days, it's allowed to order things from 7-Eleven. Right. So they only put on like a 15% fee for getting it. Right. So I was back to 10 cheap Coke Zeros after.
Jeez, that's some habit, man.
After 6 days.
Okay, cool. Yeah. So you can order food when you're there and stuff. Can you order alcohol? Can you drink any alcohol?
No, alcohol is strictly forbidden. Yeah. I've heard many stories about guys smuggling in, some bottles of red wine or a bottle of scotch or whatever.
Before they left, yeah.
Yeah, and they drank it in the hotel, and they tried everything to hide it so that when they came cleaning after 6 days, you get made in your room. Right. So if you can, make sure that nobody sees anything, then you're probably okay. So if you're an alcoholic and that's what you have to do, you have to do that. But I will just tell you, like 1 week ago, I heard a story about a Norwegian guy who smuggled in alcohol and was caught on day 8 from his hotel, and they just fucking kicked him out of the country. Wow. So this is not, if you don't need it, don't do it. I mean, if you're not really...
That's good advice.
Yeah. So I'm just saying, they will not, because we were discussing this in my friend's circle, and some of them said, what will they do? You can pay them 2,000 baht and everything is over. Right. Yes, I thought so too. But this one story just changed my mind, and I didn't do it. I don't drink alcohol when I'm on. It's a social thing for me. Right. So,
yeah. But I mean, for the sake of going through all that and then messing it up, just so you can have
like
a beer.
You're going back, and probably you will get a stamp in your passport saying you cannot come back next year or whatever.
You've got to be something wrong with you if you do.
Please don't do it unless you will really die without it all.
Yeah, sure. Yeah. Okay, cool. Well, I guess that we'll wrap it up there, guys. Yeah. If you've got any other questions for Henrik, leave them in the comments below. Maybe you can jump on and
I will jump on
and look or something like that. That'd be awesome. Yeah. But thank you so much for doing this, mate.
You're welcome.
Really, really appreciate it.
Enjoy your channel.
Cheers, mate. Thank you so much. And I'll see you next time, guys. Take care. Peace.
Bye.